What is going on, IG? What is going on, YouTube? On YouTube, let me know if you guys can see me, please. Just drop a comment below. I'm like a super amateur when it comes to streaming. Only done 2 or 3 streams on YouTube and they sucked every time. So please let me know if you guys can see me. I actually don't even know how I'm going to see the comments, but I'm hoping that you guys are going to see me. What's going on, everybody? I'm so excited to be here. Today, I'm talking about something that I've been doing for over a decade. I'm going to talk about what it takes to work as a professional colorist, okay? I'm going to talk about, and this is what I did. I'm going to tell you right now. I broke it up into 3 different categories that I'm going to touch base on. So what we're talking about, people who are joining right now, first of all, thank you so much, everybody, for joining. What we're talking about is what it takes to work as a professional colorist in the United States. I'm in Los Angeles. I am working all the time, running my own company. I'm going to give you a quick bio in 1 second, but I'm going to tell you the way we broke this down today. It's going to be broken into 3 different categories: the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay? I know it's not original, but trust me, I'm going to make it worth your while. So just a super quick introduction. I'm a colorist. I work in LA. I run my own studio called The Post Village. On YouTube, you guys can check it out, or on Instagram, just go type in thepostvillage.com. I've worked with, awesome freaking brands over the course of like the last decade. Worked with Vizio, Chevrolet, Dodge, P&G, Turtle Beach. People out there that are gamers, Speedo, Genesis, Honda. I mean, the list goes on, okay? I mean, Mazda. I work with many different clients, and everybody is different, okay? You just have to learn to work with each one individually, and that's why my company is structured the same way. Like, I build tailor-made teams. I only hire freelancers, and then I send them off. Like, so I mean, I get a project, I assess it, I analyze it, what needs to be done, and then I hand it off to the right freaking person for the job. So that right there is a nugget. The company has been super profitable because of that strategy, because there's 0 overhead. I mean, I'm not paying anyone when I'm not getting work, and then when I do, boom, pass it on anywhere in the world. I don't discriminate. So that's a little bit about me. You guys probably know me on YouTube or Instagram. Put out tons of content. By the way, I'm going to be dropping a John Wick look full tutorial tonight. Oh my God, it's going to be so freaking amazing. I keep making these tutorials into a thing like where you're going to learn eventually to create these looks on the go and then apply them to, shot to shot and whole scenes and your entire project. So that's the whole goal, right? So, I mean, I'm really, really dialing it in and just, unfiltered information, just giving that to you. Okay. Let's jump right in for what you guys are here for. Love you guys for showing up. Thank you so much, everybody that showed up on YouTube. Thank you guys for watching. I didn't give you guys a heads up like the IG fam got, because I'm still getting used to the stories on YouTube. All right, so let's talk about the good. Okay, working as a commercial colorist in LA or anywhere in the world, what are some of the pros? So the first thing that comes to mind that I can tell you is normal work hours. So you're not, like, if you're working on short films or indie films or music videos or anything else in the film industry outside of commercials, there's going to be a lot of OT, and most of the time it's not paid. I mean, because you're working for the credit or whatever have you. They're, slipping you money under the whatever. Or if you're working with a huge company, same story goes, okay? Like MPC in Vancouver just, shut their doors, and they worked on Lion King that made over $1.8 billion, and MPC ran out of business because big companies like Disney, they'll lock you in with a flat rate, and that's the biggest mistake. But I mean, who am I to teach MPC? They're in the business much longer. But these big companies, these Goliaths like Disney or whatever, they'll lock you in, right? So with a flat rate. And then what happened is that these guys were working overtime. Like they were putting in 16-hour days when they were quoted to just do 8-hour days for 3 months. They ended up putting 16-hour days. They overstaffed because they had to. They worked. It took over, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 months. It took longer than what was expected. So, the company basically was paying out of pocket. MPC was paying their employees out of pocket. They had to close the doors. It's super, super terrible thing, because if you go look at their work, I mean, obviously they did The Lion King that made over $1.8 billion. So their work is amazing, and that's what happened to them. So pro tip, do not go for the flat rate. I mean, that's just one great tip that I can tell you. Anytime they try to lock you in, I mean, negotiation is like a big key. We're going to get to it later. Second thing, consistent work. So it's consistent, like, I mean, it's a snowball effect. Like once you start working and get in the rhythm, like they're just going to keep calling you. They're going to keep calling you. They're going to keep calling you. They're going to have something more, because as you think that building a connection with the client, you get comfortable. Well, it goes both ways, right? Now they're comfortable with you. They know that you know everything. You're trustworthy, like, you're reliable, all those good things. So you start getting way more work, and you're just working every single freaking day. I mean, it's crazy how it works. I've been freelancing since 2012, and just never went back to full-time job because the work keeps rolling in. Like, I mean, got 2 emails today, for commercial spots that they're asking for me to do remotely. So it's like stuff like that. It's like every day they're just coming in from everywhere. Like it could be Instagram, somebody, checking your website out and hitting you up, or just flat out, actually, let me just keep it there. Or, just flat out, I mean, like LinkedIn, whatever, social media. I mean, you guys know how much I talk about social media. YouTube, you need to hear me, talk about social media way, way more, because Instagram people are getting some mad value bombs when it comes to that and what it can do for your career. Okay, now I want to talk about third, the good is it pays well. It pays really well. I mean, you have your set day rates. So like, if you're a junior colorist, if you're a senior colorist, somewhere in between, just starting out, you don't care about the money. You just want to charge whatever. Like there are set rates, and that you just get if you're working with a creative agency. So, you don't have to worry about that. And it pays really, really freaking well. I mean, and like I said, you take a good payday plus consistent work. I mean, you're balling out of control, Get yourself a good tax guy. It's a game changer, game over. Like, just go freaking vacation. What are you doing? So, fourth positive is connections. The Rolodex that you build. I mean, you're going to work on a project, where some clients are going to come in. They're going to see your work. If you are a personable dude, you connect with them. Boom, all of a sudden, they get your information. They, hook you up with, their buddy. You do a little job for their buddy, and then the producer that was on that project finds out about you, hits you up. I mean, my God. I mean, it's just one of those things where you roll the dice and you just let it happen. You just keep attacking. You just keep doing your thing and just wait the freaking magic happens. So those are the goods. Are you ready for the bad? We're getting into the bad. Let's just do it. So the bad, the first one has to be clients can be demanding. You've heard this. That's, one of the questions that I get all the time. Clients are demanding. There's just no way around it. So what you have to do is just suck it up. You just have to suck it up. I mean, you have to leave your ego at the door. And that's just one of those things that as you get better at your job, as you get, more professional gigs, you become more humble. And you learn to take it more and more. But at the same time, you learn the fine line, the balance where you hear them out and then you feed them your ideas as it's coming out of their mouth. I mean, let me just say it again. You tell them what you want through their mouth. You just turn those ideas as theirs, so then they can go, oh, remember when I told you this? And you're like, yeah, man, that was great. Dude, you're killing it. Like, I can't wait to work with you again. Like, you don't have to be brown noser, but I'm just saying that you'll see. Like, if you just learn that one tactic, another pro tip. So that's the first bad. The second one is unrealistic expectations. I mean, come on. How many times you've gotten, not so great footage and they wanted you to make it look like Sicario? I mean, come on. You shot something with A7S with 6400 ISO because you thought that it can just do all the wonders and you don't need lighting. And now you want to create a freaking Sicario look or John Wick look. you can't do that. I mean, there's so many factors that go into that. So unrealistic expectations, and again, a very fine line, because you just play your cards wrong here and you lose the job. They just think that, you don't want to do it, you're a naysayer, you're out the door. So very, very important thing to keep in mind. Third, the bad would be you have to work on site. So many times, I mean, you guys have seen my setup. I mean, I'm dialed in, man. I've spent over a decade building this setup, and now they just tell me, hey, Kazi, clients are going to be coming in, man. You got to come in. So you go in and they hook you up with sometimes calibrated, sometimes not so calibrated. Even professional monitors need to be calibrated. So sometimes you'll just sit in front of a monitor and it's just a hodgepodge setup. They might have a $12,000 computer, but then their storage that you're working off of is not fast enough. The monitor, like I said, is not really dialed in. Sometimes you'll be freaking surprised, man. Like, they don't have proper lighting setup. I mean, I'm telling you all of this. I'm not going to name any names. I'm just talking about like real freaking creative agencies that I worked for and created really professional work where this is what we're dealing with, okay? So unrealistic or work on site. So, you can't use your plugins. Let's just say if you got plethora of plugins like I do at home, and, you can't use your setup, like, you see on my Stream Deck and all the things that I have. So what do you do in that case? And what you do is, everything that I'm putting out recently that you see on YouTube or even in my masterclass, like, I try to show you what's in Resolve, like the default tools that you have, and for this specific reason. This is exactly the reason why I show you those things, because so many times I've dealt with it, right? Like, I mean, you don't want the IT department of like the creative agency you're going to be working at to hate you. You don't want anyone to hate you, and they will hate you because you're going to go in and you're going to be like, hey, install this, and that for me. And also, can you plug in my panel? And I'm going to be using this and that. You don't want to do that. Make this entire process frictionless. Pro tip. Make the process frictionless. So, I mean, you just want to be easygoing, blah, blah, blah. So that's why everything that you see from me, I try to keep it right there. We're not starting out with the freaking LUT. I mean, come on, don't be a LUT. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to start with that. You just want to do things right. Fourth, this is hard to freaking swallow, man. This one breaks my heart. No matter what you do, no matter which company I worked for, the end result compared to what I wanted was freaking vanilla. Because think of any big company, right? Intel. Yes, they make enterprise level stuff, but then they also make consumer level products. So then they would want to make something that's in between so it can hit a wider audience. It covers a wider gamut. And that's where things just become vanilla compared to, like, if I'm controlling something like, this is my Instagram account. This is my YouTube channel. I get to control it, the kind of stuff that I want to put out. You don't have that luxury. So what do? Here's another pro tip. Everything that you see on my website, pretty much like 90% of the work is regraded. I just brought it in. I regraded it. Like, I don't care. If they want to sue me, they can just go sue me. But the thing is, it just wasn't there. Like, when I handed it off to them, like the changes that we made, it wasn't just crushing my soul. It was just actually not that great. And it's a simple reason why. A creative director usually have a one like main skill, right? So like foundation where he's coming from. So he could be a designer, like who's just a badass designer, and this guy is a freaking Don Draper, right, from Mad Men, and then he comes in with all these ideas and everything. Just remember, he's not a colorist. You're a colorist. So then when he's going to have some input on color, it can be good, it can be great. Just like you're not a creative director, so you can't tell him how to tell a story. You're a colorist, you can enhance the story, you can help him support his narrative, but you can't really write his script, right? So, I mean, that's just what you got to think about. Again, don't fight him on it. Do it, and then change it later. Just remember, pro tip. All right, want to get into the ugly. Let's talk about the ugly. Now, this is the stuff that stinks, okay? And that's what it is. They want you to do it all. They want you to do it all. They want you to know all. I mean, there's jobs that I got on where they were just like, there you go. I'm like, what is this? And they're like, oh, here's the footage in Premiere Pro. You're gonna conform it. You're gonna bring it into Resolve. Then you're gonna color it. Like, do it, whatever you got to do. They just left me with the Premiere project, and I'm going, I'm a colorist. Like, I gotta grade this. You booked me for a day. That's what it's gonna take to actually make art and color this thing, not to freaking conform it, then bring it into Resolve, then readjust the repos, speed ramps, frame rates, all those freaking issues. It's going to take freaking half a day or sometimes longer than that, and then start grading it. Like, what is going on? So they want you to do it all. That's where it becomes way more than you just knowing, how to drop a LUT and calling yourself a colorist. And that's like, that's, I'm not attacking anyone. I'm just saying you really need to know. This is why I keep hitting on those like fundamentals. People get into like, hey, show me how to work in Aces. Well, do you actually know how to bring in a shot into Resolve the proper way and then out of Resolve? Why don't we start there? You get what I'm saying? So that's my point. Like, you really need to know this. And there's so many different things, like you will have clients sit in with you, watch you, like literally just hover over your freaking, head and just watch you work. You need to know all the protocols. Like, how do you start a grade? Where do you go from this to that and the other thing? Like, you have to balance your shots first. Then you have to understand what's, what kind of different cameras they're using, color science, understanding of all that stuff, which is like a beast in its own right. Like shot matching, don't even get me started on that. So many people, deal with that. And that's probably one of the biggest things. Like when I started grading, the hardest thing was shot matching. Like, I would spend freaking an hour grading one shot, and then I go to the next shot that was shot with a different camera, and I'm like, this copy paste function is not working. What am I supposed to do? So understand that like, there's so much that goes on into that whole thing. And so that's that, right? Shot matching. Then you get into the color grading. And then how do you grade something? Because you do it too much, they freak out. They want you to go all the way back and scratch everything. So you have to be really good at that. You have to speak the lingo, take them through it, take them in confidence. That's so important for a colorist, because you just don't get a benefit of the doubt in this field, right? They just want you to freaking, like, either you know it or you don't know it, and you just like read user guides for freaking breakfast, and that doesn't cut it. You don't want to confuse your clients. You want to like just grab their hand and take them through the process, and just pet them. Just think of them as like your cats. I have 2 cats. I love them. Like, I have a shirt that says I'm a cat daddy. Love it. It's original. So those are the things you got to remember. Second ugly point is they expect 10 times what they're paying you. Tell me, every single person who's worked on any gig, I don't care. It doesn't need to be actually a commercial gig or professional gig. Short films, they just expect the world from you, right? They want you to like just literally give up your family to work on their project that's going to, go into some festivals. So what I'm talking about. So they'll pay you $200 and they expect you to do $2,000 worth of job. So what I say to that, that's what I do anyways. Like, I live by bringing on 10x. I don't care. Like, I laugh about it. I tell you guys sometimes that I don't sleep. I don't sleep. I sleep for 3 hours here and there. I'm so excited on life. That's like if you were a freaking gamer and the new Call of Duty drops tomorrow, you're going to be having trouble sleeping, man. You're going to be freaking pumped. Same thing with like when back in the day the Dark Knight came out. I could not wait. Like, I was counting the freaking, days till it came out. And I am like that on life. Like, I really am. And I live and breathe this stuff. So then, when you guys praise me and shower me with all the love, and you guys say, Kazi, man, how do you keep going? Well, bro, it's too easy. It's like, how do I keep eating every day? Like, I have to do it. So it's like, it's the thing that just keeps me going. It's my fuel. So like, let's get into the pro tip here, which would be, is that something that you live or breathe? That's a very important question. Like, so many times people are like, hey man, what about the balance, man? What about this and that? Like, dude, when you're passionate about something, you're going to change lives. Do you want to change lives, or do you want to be just like a cute little Billy who just knows a little bit about balance and like watches, Super Bowl on Sundays and just thinks that he's got it. He's figured it out. He's not like the freaking he's not like me or some other psycho who's just putting in the work and, actually making a difference. So, there has to be a bigger like calling. And I feel like when they expect you to do 10 times, you freaking deliver on that and you give them 10 times or even more than that. Okay, so that's my, counter to the ugly. Third, you screw up once, and this is a big one. And I'm talking about, some of you heard the story that I mentioned about what happened recently. I was working with a company, big client. I'm talking about huge client. 80% of my revenue is coming from this freaking client, okay? 80%. Huge freaking client. I'm buddies with everybody. I shower them with gifts. I'm talking about $1,500 of freaking gift cards every Christmas. And not only just gift cards to schmooze them, I'm talking about like deep heart-to-heart connection. Anytime I went into the freaking office, sat down, had like long chats with everyone, knew them outside of work. I somehow, this one person had a thing for me. I was out the door. I'm talking about like everything that they play in their agency is graded by me. Everything that they play in their agency is graded by me. I'm out the door because I just ticked off somebody. That person is not even on the top of that totem pole. I'm talking about just somehow, somewhere. I don't even know what I did. I actually know what I did. They wanted me to work from the office, and I said, I have worked, for years working remotely with this client. It's okay if I work like remotely. It's okay. They didn't like it. Boom, I'm out the door. All the directors and all the head honchos and thousands of dollars of gifts that I showered them with, nothing. Like freaking bringing them to parties and inviting them over to my house and like opening the door to my, to them, to my family. None of that matters. Out the door. So what do you do about it? You don't do what I did. You don't do the 80-20 rule here. You don't rely on one client so freaking much. Break it up. The big thing about being a freelancer is that you have that luxury. You really have that luxury. You can build like a crazy clientele, recurring clientele, like a huge snowball that just keeps getting bigger. And you just take a job here, you take a job there, you take a job here, you take a job there, you work with this guy, you work with that guy, you just stay nimble, like boom, 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 move. People who watch soccer, you got to be messy. You got to be messy in this freaking business. Like just move, just dribble through, but how do you do that? It's daunting, right? Like people whose brain don't think like working freelance, and where do you even start? And what is it about? Color grading is so freaking new just as a field. Is it even real? Like, what are people actually even doing in this? Like, can you actually make money in that? Like, there's so many freaking questions that are going through everybody's head, right? By the way, these things that I'm talking about can easily be applicable to anything, right? Because I always say I'm a businessman first, I'm an artist second. That's how I live my life. I got to feed my family. I got to freaking dominate. I got to give them the best life that, more like I just got to give them everything. I just got to live up to my own potential, and my potential is freaking limitless. And that's the mentality. That is no rah-rah. That's the mentality. That's like getting the freaking results. Like that's me saying like the last 6 months, becoming a freaking fastest growing, channel on Instagram. Like becoming a fastest growing channel when it comes to color grading on YouTube. This is no joke. These are the platforms that billions of people are on. Try it. Not everybody can do it, but when you have that drive, when you have that conviction, I have so much conviction that you might as well call me a convict. Is that a good one? I just worked on it. I told my wife and she hated it, but I'm filled with dad jokes, so I got to throw them whenever I get a chance. Know what I'm saying? All right. Fourth ugly is price and day rate. Again, this is a big one. I'm telling you, I have lost gigs because I've underquoted myself. Have you ever heard of that? I've underquoted myself and I lost that job. So what is that about? right? I mean, what's the right rate? Who's talking about the right rates? Go get a freaking boot camp and they don't talk about it. You'll be like out $1,500 and you'll drive through freaking Burbank traffic, which is the worst in the world. And at the end, no, like you don't get that. Freaking go spend 4 years in school. Nobody tells you about rates because they're teachers. They're not practitioners. They're not doing it. They don't know the rates, in their defense. So what do you do? What's the next step? I want to take a moment. I said it in the beginning, like I'm going to talk about, and that's where I want to tell you something. Like all these questions that I'm talking about are all the questions in my head. All the things that I just put out here are all the failures that I went through, things that went wrong, things that went south, and there is no roadmap. And I'm going to tell you truly, I mean, that's just the truth. Professional colorists don't want to share crap with you, okay? They don't want to give it up. They know that they're banking it. It's the wild, wild west. They're making so much money. They're just naming their rates. I mean, Amazon is paying $1,500 an hour for HDR work. What are you talking about? This is freaking crazy world right now, okay? Whereas a senior colorist is getting paid $800 to $1,000 day rate. Like $1,500 an hour, and I mean, mind you, that's a company that they're working with, not an individual, but you can register yourself into a company tomorrow if you want to. You can become an S-Corp tonight. So what can you do? How do you get there? And this is where these were all the questions. Took me over 5 years to like really put my head together and go back to the roots. And it's like what I've learned growing up. Like my dad, that taught me there's plenty to go around, son. Give it away. Give it away. Just push it out. Push it out. Okay. And I believe in that. I believe in that. The reason why I created a virtual studio is that so I can work with somebody in Berlin. I can work with somebody in Russia because I want to. I want to. It's way cooler than just like finding a freaking buddy, my next door neighbor, because that's convenient to me. That's not fair to the guy in Berlin or the guy in freaking Nigeria or India. So I don't want to do that. But I didn't want to stop there. I wanted to take it a step further. What is that step further? It's crushing the freaking school system, crushing the traditional online or boot camps, like on-site boot camps, and creating a freaking program that literally, what I learned in the last 10 to 12 years, I just took my failures and just purged them, flushed them down the toilet, and I just kept my wins and just curated them, put them in one freaking course. So when we went through our bad and ugly, and I told you all the things that can go wrong, think about this. This is why, like the masterclass that I created, that's actually is available for the next 6 days. It's available for 6 days to purchase. Right here, it tells you underneath on YouTube, you guys can see. I mean, the enrollment is going to end on Wednesday. You have 6 days to get it. And let me just give you a quick overview of what I'm covering in this. Everything that I just talked about here and the problems that you might face. I'm going to start from the beginning all the way to the end. Like you take the hard skills and I'll just turn you into a freaking rock hard colorist. And I'm going to teach you the soft skills, the freelance side. Like the freelance side of this course is literally the reason why I'm even doing this course. So you start with Conform, learn every single thing, and at the end you get to the freelance part of it, and that probably is worth, I don't know, a whole school degree. I'm not lying to you. Like people who are taking the class are quitting their job, their 9 to 5, doing this full time and being profitable. People who are taking this job like literally are saying that this is $1 million worth of information, and that's because it's nothing like that's a theory. It's just literally, I did this, it worked for me, here, go do it. That's it, unfiltered. Like you're getting that information. And so I'm going to be like, so let's go through the module real quick, and so I can show you what's going to be covered in that. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to just, for my YouTube, I'm going to make sure that they're looking at that. Okay, cool. And let's turn this around too. So I mean, just look at it, right? So Conform is that process. Like how do you take your footage, from Premiere Pro or, Premiere Pro Avid Media Composer, and then how do you bring it in to Resolve and then color it and then send it back? Like there's so many things that can actually go wrong when it comes to that. So I'm going to be talking about how to do it properly. Like what are the right ways, what are the wrong ways, and what things to look for. And then tailor-made like stuff, like if you're working on a short film, how to approach it. If you're working on a music video, if you're working on a commercial, like there's so many freaking things that go into it. That's what we're going to be covering in that module. Then when we get into our cameras module, like this is the freaking hottest subject right now, right? Like, so every single camera under the sun, just look at all these cameras. You got Canon coming out with their profile. You got freaking Alexa coming out with their color science. Like you got Blackmagic putting out, new color profiles every day. Every camera is differentiated and has that edge because of their color science. Okay, cool. Now, how do you freaking get the best images out of each camera? Because I have seen, and you guys have also witnessed that too, you will see somebody grade, red footage that looks like A7S. Well, they don't have the foundation. They don't have the understanding what goes into it. It's covered right there. By the way, anybody who's watching this, the class is available. Link is in the bio for IG. Link is in the description on YouTube. Go check it out and sign up right now. 6 days left. Then I'm going to go into my next module, which is color correction. I mean, this, like I said, in my little promo video that I did, 80% of your jobs are this, okay? You're working on either documentaries, corporate videos, branded content, wedding videos, even commercials. Like I said, the vanilla stuff, you can still make it sing if you know color correction, okay? So instead of crying about it, you can just make it sing, and you need to know that. But what do you actually need to know? The actual meat. You need to learn the scopes. You need to learn what a lookbook is, what happens when you're working with Rec 709 footage that's mixed with your regular log footage. I mean, how do you properly balance your image? What's the proper exposure for skin tones? I mean, analyzing your image before you even get going. You understand what I'm saying? The things that go into it, it's covered in here and then some. Then we move on to shot matching. So let's talk about it. Shot matching, probably a number one question. Kazi, great, you did this, The Witcher look, that's great. How about you try to match it to the next shot? Well, brother, I'm going to be giving you access to my actual projects where I got paid and I turned them in and they were submitted to freaking festivals. You will have access to that footage shot on Alexa Mini, shot by professional DPs, and you're going to practice along. And I'm giving you wanted that, I'm giving you that, and then some. You're going to get real world examples. And I'm talking about difficult projects like documentaries that are shot with 7 different cameras. You got Rec 709 log profiles. You got freaking old school cine style profile from Canon, Magic Lantern, so all that stuff. How do you make it sing and make it look cohesive and make it look like it belongs in that world? We're going to be talking about all of those things. And there's so many techniques. How do you actually shot match? What are some of the tools in Resolve that sets it apart a billion times more than, like, say, freaking Premiere Pro or something like that? So many of you ask me, hey, why don't you do tutorials on Final Cut 10, Premiere Pro? Here's the reason why. When I show you these tools, you're going to ditch Premiere Pro yesterday, okay? Then I'm going to move on to color grading. Obviously, the most fun. This look that you're seeing that you're going to be able to grade and create, and the footage it's provided is mimicking John Wick. So look at how it was shot to what we created. Top is how it was shot, and then what I created at the bottom. I'm going to be taking you through and creating some of the hottest looks in the industry. So we're going to be creating a look from Sicario, La La Land, Hobbs and Shaw, which is like the new teal and orange, which is a really cool aesthetic. And then Atomic Blonde, one of my favorite. I'm going to be creating looks from some of the hottest commercials. I'm going to be creating a poppy hip hop, look from like Tyga's videos, or think of like Justin Bieber's like videos, DJ Khaled. So like we're going to be creating those looks in here, and you're really going to become a tastemaker in this section. Okay. Again, guys, if you want to sign up, IG, link is in the bio. If you want to sign up, YouTube, link is in the description. Go do it. 6 days left. Then the studio module. Studio module is the freaking sauce. Okay, you guys know how much pride I take in my studio, but the thing is, you don't have to spend the money that I've spent on my studio, because I'm going to take you through all different setups. Okay, if you're broke, I'm going to hook you up with a setup that's practical so you can start getting paid, so you can move up, you can level up to come up, and then from there you can level up to freaking baller status. Okay, how to optimize your system if you're on a budget and working with something that just doesn't have the juice. What goes into delivering, like, to commercials? What goes into grading remotely? If you're in freaking India, you don't have the best internet connection, whatever have you. How can you equip yourself and be ready to go and just kill the freaking excuses so you can start dominating and producing at 10x levels? All of that is covered right here in the studio setup. And then I'm going to take you through, I'm going to like really do a lot of hand holding in here. Okay. And I'm also going to be providing you with my Stream Deck profile settings and things like that. Literally, these settings alone is worth the freaking price tag for this class, because I'm just telling you, like, it is crazy how efficient you can be if you just have your setup dialed in. Then freelance module, I mean, come on. Okay. This is not being taught anywhere. So when you go on the actual website and when you look at it and I say, you know, the only course that teaches you the freaking, you know, grading skills and the business skills, I'm not lying. I mean, this is not taught anywhere. This is not taught in school. Don't give me there's a career development class, like, you know, that the instructor doesn't even care about. So this is not covered anywhere. And what you're going to learn here are literally step-by-step guide to like how I just went from like charging this to like double my rate the next day with the same client. Like, how did I create those strategies? How did I, like, you know, what happens when you're sitting with a client? What are those like soft skills to like really become their go-to person? Like, that's freaking important. What are the do's and don'ts of freelancing? I mean, freelance lifestyle has given me the life that I could never freaking like imagined. Like, I mean, you can leave like the 9 to 5 in the freaking dust in months. Sometimes in a month, I would make the money that I would make as like an entry-level editor, you know, would be making. So it's crazy. I'm not bragging. It's not bragging if it's true. I'm just saying that this is what is at stake, and that's what I'm sharing. Like, it's just unfiltered. I'm going to be showing you my invoice that pretty much like took me from an $8,000 project to a $35,000 gig, okay? Just because how I freaking perfected and created the invoice. Like, yes, it freaking matters. It's not rah-rah. It matters, and you get the template. I give you the template that you can just literally take, copy, paste, and start sending your invoices like that. And there's so much more, man. There's just so much more in there. Negotiation rates. Like I said, I mean, you know, you blow it, you lost the job. You don't say the right rate, you lost it. So gauging where you stand and how much you should be charging with your skill set is a freaking skill in its own right, and you're going to be learning that in here. So 23 hours of freaking content. You guys watch 30-minute videos on YouTube and you guys lose your freaking ish, like you guys go crazy, the value that you're getting. Now imagine 23 hours of that content, like just freaking going deep. And then 157 total videos. So let's think about it, right? I mean, just go YouTube, go check it out. I'm gonna put the link right here. Link is up here, and guys, go check it out. Okay, just at least give me the pleasure to go looking at it. Like, just watch this video. This video is actually pretty dope, and just check it out. What's in there? What you got going on? You have 6 days left, and then what you should actually watch. Another thing that I would highly recommend watching is the masterclass overview. So, I mean, I took you through it a little bit, but this goes deeper, right? So, and just people like, I mean, you can watch this testimonial reel. I would highly recommend it. And again, YouTube, link is in the description. Sign up now, 6 days left. Instagram, link is in the bio. Sign up now, 6 days left. Just read the freaking testimonial. I mean, it's crazy. I'm just so humbled. I'm also sharing testimonials in the stories on both ends, so you guys are going to be seeing that too. Obviously, I'm so confident that this is the right thing for everybody that I don't care. 29th day and 11:59 p.m. you hit me up, you get your money back, no questions asked, because that's it. I've never believed in anything more. So go take it, sign up for it. You got nothing to lose. Try it out for yourself. And I wanna part on this thing, okay? I just want to say this. The reason why I join you this, sure, is going to make me a little bit of money, and that's great. One, for all the things that I shared with you, things that, you know, you might or might not know, and then you should be knowing, to like really catapult your career. And like I said, it doesn't need to be in color grading. You can take these skills, apply it to editing, and then keep your color grading as an upsell. So you do a project for a client, and then you say, hey, what if, boom, this is how I started. Like in 2012, I was an editor. I'm an MPEG editor, Motion Pictures Editors Guild editor. So like I would just work on stuff, and then I would just do my grade because I love grading, and then I will turn it in, and they'll be like, whoa, like, what did you do? What happened here? And I'm like, you know, I've just played with it in DaVinci Resolve, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, dude, this is crazy. And then eventually like it turned into a paid work. And eventually I would just do a little snack, like a 5 second, for a 15-second vignette, and I will send it out and I'll ask the clients, what do you guys think? Like, do you want me to grade it? And they just go, holy hell. Sometimes I didn't even have to ask. They will just look at it and they'll be like, Kazi, can you grade this, man? This looks freaking absolutely stunning. It looks crazy. So I'm just telling you guys, I have so much faith in this. Go ahead, try it. But go in with the mentality that you're going to freaking crush it. If you're on the fence and you don't know and you've taken hundreds of courses and you just think that this is another course, then please, I request you, do not get it. Then just don't get it. It's not for you. It's not for you. Don't get it at all. You don't need it. You're great. Like, you don't need it at all. But if you're somebody that just keeps pushing and keeps going to that next level and just really want to figure all the things out and just needs a shortcut, but a shortcut from somebody that's living and breathing it every single day, then this is the course for you. It also gives you a freaking full-time 24/7 access to me through DM or email. I'm just here all the time. Like I said, I don't sleep. So you hit me up, you ask me the craziest questions, and I'll give you the craziest answers, because this is just how I roll. So on that note, love you guys so much. Just make sure to check the link out. Sign up right now. 30-day money-back guarantee. So get your money back if you don't like it. Love you guys. I'm going to be dropping a John Wick look in a few hours. Whew. So excited about that one. Love you, Instagram. Love you, YouTube. See you tonight. And I will drop a link to the YouTube video. But in the meantime, go sign up. And when you do, hit me up. Drop a freaking comment on YouTube. Drop a DM. Let me know that you're part of Cause Nation. And on that note, work hard, get obsessed, get possessed. I will see you guys in the next video.